Here's something nobody really talks about. You can make money online by building tiny tools that solve specific problems. Now, what kind of problems? Well, to begin with, your own. These websites get thousands of visits a month, make money passively through ads or simple services, and some of them take less than a day to build. You build them once and they work for you 24/7. I discovered this whole business model when I was trying to figure out how much work it actually takes to make an online business profitable. That's when I realized that there's a whole way of making money online that I have never even considered. In this channel, we've covered tons of online business ideas, and every time I start a new one, I ask myself the same question. Is this gonna be worth it financially? So before I invest a single dollar into a new idea, I always try to have a clear picture of the total costs, the potential revenue, and the profit margins of that business. And so I always did the same thing. I built a spreadsheet mostly from scratch, I added things, removed things, redesigned the whole layout. It always felt like a boring friction that just got in the way even though it's necessary. And that's when I started thinking, how awesome would it be if there was an app or a website that instantly tells me whether a business idea is profitable and worth exploring further? So this is a problem that I had for years. Until now. I could never find a tool that looked and worked the way I wanted, and so I decided to build it myself, and I was actually amazed by the results. And before you ask, no, I don't know how to code and I have zero experience building apps. So how does someone like me with absolutely no technical background pull this off? Well, in this video, I'm gonna show you exactly how you can turn any idea into a fully functional web app using one of the most advanced AI tools I've found so far. And the best part, I'll also show you how you can monetize it in just a few clicks. Whenever I start a new site hustle, whether it's print on demand, dropshipping, or digital products, I always hit the same wall. What would it take to be profitable? So today, I'm gonna build a tool that finally answers that question, a business profitability calculator that anyone can use. And we're gonna build it using an awesome AI tool called Hostinger Horizons. In case you've never heard of this new tool, you can now create fully functional web applications and have them up and running in just a matter of minutes. The way it works is simple. You feed it a text prompt describing what you want in plain English, and Horizons takes care of everything. It handles the coding, the layout, the logic, the features, even the design. It's honestly kind of crazy that we reached the point where you can basically just say what you want and the AI will build it for you. This isn't just answering questions or generating images. This is coding an entire web application in minutes based on your prompt. Now, I know how crazy this sounds, so let me show you how it works. So, to use Horizons, you'll need a Hostinger account. So, in case you don't have one, go ahead and sign up using the link in the description of this video. If you use this code, you'll get a 10% off when trying Hostinger Horizons. Once your account is set up, you can go straight to the Horizons website. Okay, so this is it. As you can see, we are immediately greeted by this message, inviting us to type in our prompt. Create beautiful sites and web apps just by chatting with AI. Okay, simple enough, let's go ahead and do just that. So for this example, I want to create a web app that helps me quickly and intuitively understand how profitable a potential business could be. I want to be able to enter all the costs involved, things like fees, transaction costs, one-time expenses, subscriptions, everything it takes to start and run the business, and then have the app tell me how I should price my product or service and how many units I need to sell to make a profit. This gives me a clear target, the numbers I need to hit to break even or ideally be profitable. So this is my idea. This is what I want to create. Now, I'm going to type it as my prompt, keeping it as simple as possible. The goal is to be clear and specific and give the AI enough information to get started, but not so much that you confuse it or send conflicting instructions. So, let's try something like create a web app called Business Profitability Calculator. I want to be able to input each individual cost to run the business, and then I want to have the option to calculate my potential profits based on number of units sold and price per unit. I want sliders to easily adjust these two parameters and a graph to show the results. Okay, I'm honestly not sure if this is too much or too little, but it seems like a good start for now. So let's just go ahead and click send and let it work its magic. Okay, so as you can see, Horizons is already coding this app idea in the background. Here on the left, we can see the prompt I used, and oh, let's take a look at this. It's asking me a follow-up question. What color scheme or style would you prefer for the app? Okay, that is a great question. So let's say I would love a modern and minimal design with blue, purple, and magenta accents. Yeah, that matches the looks of this channel. Let's hit send and there we go. Okay, so now we just give it a couple of minutes and let's see what we get. Alright, so our first iteration is ready. Business Profitability Calculator. And it even includes an icon of a calculator. How appropriate. Let's see what we have here. So first we have the business cost section, and it already comes with 4 parameters. That's interesting. We have fixed costs, variable cost per unit, marketing and operation costs. Okay, this makes sense, but I was actually picturing something a little different. Because not every business is the same, I really like to manually create my own items in the business cost section. Ideally, I want a little plus button to add a new field, and in that field, I should be able to type the label myself and then enter the amount in dollars. Basically, instead of having fixed predefined costs, I want to add as many as I want and name them whatever I want. Can I do that here? No, not really. I can only change the numbers. Okay, moving on. Next, we have the sales parameters. This actually looks exactly the way I visualized it. We have two colorful sliders, units sold and price per unit. I can adjust them both individually, that's perfect. And then we have the net profit. Okay, this is also perfect. We have a big green number showing our net profit, and it even says your business is profitable. Keep up the good work. That's great. I love that detail. And we also have the profit margin. Now, let's see if this works when I adjust the parameters. Okay, it does. Okay, that is perfect. It turns red as soon as you start operating at a loss, and it even changes the text here. It also gives you advice. Consider adjusting cost or pricing. This is excellent. This part so far is exactly what I wanted. Nothing to change about this at all. I even love the animation in the numbers as you play with the sliders. It's perfect. The icons also change in real time. This is awesome. We'll keep this as it is. Let's keep moving. Next, we have a breakdown apparently with total revenue, total costs, and break-even units. Well, I can't really see this number. Maybe we can fix that later. And finally, we have the profit analysis chart. Okay, what is this? This is a weird looking chart. We have units sold on the x-axis, I guess, profit on the y-axis. I don't know, it doesn't say. Okay, so this graph is gonna need a little bit of work. But overall, for a first try and a single prompt, I gotta say the results are pretty amazing. So we're going to start improving this app from the top down. First, I'm going to try redesigning the business cost section to match my exact specifications. And here's the thing, guys, I have a general picture of the results that I want, but it is completely normal to have an idea and not be completely sure about how to execute every little detail. So what I do is this. Instead of spending a credit every time I want to make a change, I make sure to optimize my prompts as much as possible before I request anything. So if you go to your top right hand corner, you'll see a button that says Ask Cody. Just click there and check this out. This is Horizon's integrated AI assistant. You can ask it for help crafting your prompts, and this won't cost you any AI credits. This is awesome because if you have an idea or a change you want to make, but you're not sure about how to prompt it properly, Cody can help you optimize your prompt to avoid wasting credits. So I'll give it a quick overview of the app, and then I'll ask for help tackling each specific issue one at a time. So I'll ask it to create a prompt to redesign my business cost section, and in just a few seconds, it gives me an optimized version. So now I'm just gonna copy this prompt, paste it in Horizons once again, and click send. Okay, we can see it coding in the background once again, and now we get this message explaining the changes made. It seems like it understood everything, and there we go. Our redesigned app is ready. Okay, so this looks much better. We now have our business cost categorized by fixed and variable, which is perfect. And we have a couple of fixed cost examples to begin with, but it added a delete button to clear these and the add cost button we requested. So this is looking really good so far. We can now type in the description of the cost and the actual amount in dollars. So a pretty straightforward UI. The rest of the app looks the same as before, so we still need to fix the graph and some colors. But in the meantime, I wanted to show you guys a few more features. So remember, it takes 1 credit each time you run a prompt. If you go to your top left hand side, you'll see a burger menu where you can check out how many credits you have used so far. This number will change depending on the plan you select, but as you can see, I can confidently say that you can probably create any kind of app you want with as much as 20 credits, especially if you use the workflow I showed you and optimize your prompts using Cody prior to sending them to Horizons. Another thing worth noting is that most people are probably going to be using this app you create on their phones. So if you go to your top right hand corner, you can click this little icon and see how your app looks like on mobile. And you can switch back and forth between mobile and desktop. In this case, as you can see, our website is a little wide on mobile, so we want to make sure to fix that before publishing. And if you click preview on a new tab, you can see how your app would look like on a laptop. This is where you should always check these views, because as you can see, the layout changes a bit. Now the net profit section is to the side instead of below the sales parameter, so keep that in mind. Another thing worth noting is that if you click on edit content in the center top, you'll notice a few boxes appear on your app. These allow you to manually change some of the text and images in the preview. So if you want to change the name of the app to Profit Calculator, for example, you can do that. And finally, another great feature that I will definitely be exploring for another project is the ability to prompt with images. You can simply upload an image with a screenshot or sketch, and Horizons will replicate the design. This is really promising and especially useful for those of us who sometimes struggle with text prompts. So what I'll do now that I have a base to work with is basically go back and forth between my AI assistant Cody and Horizons. I will describe the issues that I find and optimize my prompts each time, and basically continue to do this until the app looks and works exactly the way I intended. If I'm being completely honest, this tool feels like borderline magic to me. The way Horizons understands what you're trying to build and adapts adapts to your ideas is pretty crazy, and the possibilities here are pretty much endless. There's just so much you could create with something like this. And it works phenomenally considering this tool is only a few months old. Imagine the things you'll be able to create in a couple of years. Now, I have made a few more modifications and I got to a point where I'm pretty satisfied with how everything looks and works. Now, it's not the case for my specific app, but Horizons also includes an online store integration that allows you to manage products, orders, and payments for your website. So if you want to set up an online store kind of app, you can build that entirely within Horizons. It even includes Supabase as part of the integrations. This allows users of your website to sign up, log in, and access their content basically like a client dashboard. This way their progress is not lost every time they leave the website or refresh their browser. This can be incredibly useful for apps that track your progress somehow, maybe like a diet tracker app or even a booking app. So I'll show you guys how to set this up in more detail on the next video. And finally, if you want to create a subscription-based app, which would be an awesome way to monetize your project, Hostinger also provides a Stripe integration to manage those subscriptions and collect the payments. I'll also show you guys how to set that up in an upcoming video. So once you're ready, you're going to want to publish your website and make it accessible to everyone. So you want to go ahead and click publish on your top right corner. You'll get a message like this, and then you can click view site to see your web app at the temporary domain. The thing is that this temporary domain is not very professional, so how can we personalize this? So to get a custom domain, you want to go back to your Hostinger dashboard. So go back to Horizons, click on this hamburger menu and select Hostinger dashboard. When you land there, make sure to select Horizons from the navigation menu, find your site with your temporary domain and click connect domain. Here you can search for a domain to use. I generally recommend a .com domain if it's available. Connect it and your web app is now up and running. This cannot be any easier. You can design and launch your website in maybe an hour and have it live on the internet with one click. It used to be the case that you would buy the domain somewhere, build a website somewhere else, hire someone to develop your apps, and then subscribe to a payment method and a database separately. You can now do all of that from Hostinger, which really makes starting an online business much easier and accessible to beginners and professionals. Now, there's definitely more content on this topic coming soon, so please let me know in the comments down below what kind of app you'd like to create, and maybe I can show you how to do that using Horizons. Best app idea makes it into the next video, so leave your suggestions down below and I'll make sure to feature you guys on the next one. I'm gonna leave a link in the description for you guys to try Horizons with the 10% off using my code. This also gives you free hosting and a free domain with a yearly Horizons plan. Also, Hostinger is having a Cyber Week special, so you get 2 extra months for free with any yearly plans. So just select your plan. I recommend the starter plan. This will give you more than enough credits to start building with Horizons. Apply your coupon code here to get that extra 10% off and follow the rest of the steps. So make sure to give it a try. Please let me know if you have any questions or any feedback. As always, I'll be more than happy to respond to every single one of you guys. Don't forget to drop a like on the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next week.